This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your source for the latest Iowa ag news headlines right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, Mark Magnuson, and Andy Peterson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Mark.
Hello and welcome into Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Mark Magnuson. Today is Monday, September 15th, 2025, and we're so glad you can join us for today's show. In today's episode, I will be joined by Sam Trainor of agmarket.net as we will talk about the closing markets, what the numbers looked like following the follow-up to the WASDE report on Friday. But first, it is my conversation with Clint Chaffer of John Deere as he tells us about the precision ag upgrades you can make with John Deere, specifically in this instance, getting your older planter up to speed with precision ag upgrades.
Mark Magnuson for the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and I'm joined today by Clint Chaffer. We are here at the John Deere display at the Farm Progress Show 2025 in Decatur, Illinois. And Clint, kind of an interesting display behind us because I know you're going to tell us about precision ag upgrades, and I think we have a pretty good example behind us, don't we?
Yeah, not every day do you come to the John Deere booth and you see, an older planter sitting here that's a little bit faded, a little bit of rust on it, right, and fully upgraded here.
And what year planter was this originally, and what have you brought it to here today in terms of its specs?
Yeah, so this is a 2008 1790. And what we ended up doing is we put our ultimate planter upgrade kit on it. And what that is, Mark, is you actually take all of the row units off, right? So you strip it down clear to the bar, all your wiring harnesses, your controllers, everything. And it gets outfitted with brand new row units with all the latest technology. And it also upgrades the architecture of the planter as well to SeedStar 5. So by the time it's all said and done, we got that 26 planter sitting over there. They're actually the same technology at that point in time once we put this ultimate planter upgrade kit on it.
And that was going to be my next question, Clint. Would you put then this planter that's been upgraded with all of the precision ag upgrades, even though it is older, would you put it right alongside a new planter and say, hey, you can do the same things you would with a planter right off the line?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's where this ends up. We've upgraded this to ExactEmerge with a brush belt. This is a 10-mile-an-hour planter now, right? It wasn't that way when we first did this. And then we put some other precision upgrade kits on it as well. So we got our ExactRate kit where we got in-furrow fertilizer. And then we also have the 2x2 fertilizer with SurePoint's Sentinel unit as well. So this thing is fully outfitted here.
So how cost-effective is this process then for the grower to be able to say, hey, I do have an older piece of equipment, but I'm not ready to go out and get a full brand new a planter right off the line, and I want to find that middle ground. Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a much more cost-effective way to get to that latest technology, right? Now, to give you an exact price, that's always tough because in a planter configuration, we can set these up however it fits your operation. So we actually have two different meter options. So we can go to ExactEmerge with a brush belt, like I mentioned before, or we can set it up with MaxEmerge 5E. That's going to be more of your 5.5 mile an hour planter. And then we can do different things like the gauge wheels. We can do spoked or solid. We can do pneumatic closing wheels. This has our individual hydraulic downforce system on it, or you can do pneumatic if that fits your operation. So a lot of different ways to configure this to your operation, Mark.
Is this complete retrofit available for anyone who would be interested in it? Would that be wide across Iowa available?
Oh, absolutely. So we actually go back to 2005 with our Ultimate Planter upgrade kits. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't stop there. Let's say if your row units are good and you have a 2015 or newer, but you want to jump up to the latest metering technology, we also have meter upgrade kits available too, where you can upgrade, basically take off your old meter and upgrade it to the ExactEmerge with brush belt or to our ME5E that you'll see sitting over there.
Now, I know we're standing in front of this planter talking about the getting it up to speed with today's tech, but is there any other precision upgrades you'd like to mention here while I have you today, Clint?
Oh, absolutely. So we also have a full array of sprayer upgrades as well. So one of the things I like to point out is we have what we call our Individual Nozzle Control Pro. That can actually be put on a 2008 or newer 4730, 4830. These are sprayers that guys may not know that they can actually get to that individual nozzle technology. And then we also have Exact Apply, which then you can go on a 2014 or newer. And if you're in 2018 or newer, you can start looking at things like our See and Spray, which is really the latest and greatest technology when it comes to spraying.
So what would be the best way for a grower to find out which of his existing equipment is, I guess, compatible with the retrofit technology we've talked about?
Yeah, I would say the first stop is always stop into your local John Deere dealer. Talk to them about what upgrades are available for your piece of machinery. After that, you can also go to deere.com/upgrade. We have a couple configurators out there. You can type in the serial number of your planter. We'll show you exactly what's available for that planter at that point in time, or you can do the same thing with your sprayer as well.
He is Clint Chaffer of John Deere. We are here at the Farm Progress Show 2025. Clint, thanks so much for the information here today. Very interesting discussion. Have a great rest of the show.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
Thank you to Clint Chaffer of John Deere for joining today's episode of Ag Matters PM. We will have now the closing market coverage as I'm joined by Sam Trainor of agmarket.net in just a little bit. But first, a word from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soybean Checkoff.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Joined now for the closing markets by Sam Trainor of agmarket.net. Sam, we had kind of a quiet trading week last week, of course, getting ready for the WASDE report on Friday. What has the trade been looking like here today in the grains following that report on Friday?
So we saw a pullback today on corn and soybeans. Soybeans actually started the day with a little bit of strength. They were trading higher, but corn ultimately pulled it down lower, and we finished well off the highs, both corn and soybeans. It was interesting to note, you mentioned there last week we had the WASDE report on Friday, and that definitely offered a lot of optimism into this market. We closed at 430, just a quarter cent off of the day's high on Friday in December corn. And that's an important level here. It only came in about 2 3/4 below the gap that would have been filled had we got there from the 4th of July weekend. Coming out of 4th of July weekend, we gapped lower, and we have not seen that price since. So I think there's quite a bit of resistance there, and just saw a little bit of a correction here today. I don't think we did a whole lot of damage on the technical charts. Wouldn't be surprised to maybe even see a little bit more selling, but I do think the trend has shifted a little bit firmer here going forward, despite today's sell-off.
So, Sam, were you surprised by today's reaction, or was today's reaction kind of in line with what you would have expected based on what we learned Friday?
I think it was maybe a little bit overdone based on my expectations. I thought maybe we'd pull back down to this 420 area on the December corn eventually, but maybe not this quickly. We finished 6 3/4 cents lower here today on the December corn contract. That's at 423.5. Like I said, I think a move from the low that we made on August 12th all the way to the high made on Friday. It was about 38 cents there. So if we were to retrace, I don't know, maybe half of that move here, it's going to bring you right down to that 420 area. So like I said, I thought maybe we could have dragged that out over a few more days, but maybe it's just going to be a kind of a quick turnaround. And then tomorrow we get right back on track and start trading, those yield estimates that came in lower, but I think the trade's still looking for something lower yet based on how dry it's been here in the Midwest recently.
And of course, we've certainly heard those stories about disease pressure throughout the Corn Belt and what that has looked like here so far. Let's talk now about the livestock side of the markets. How did cattle and hogs trade?
Cattle and hogs had a fantastic day today. The cattle markets have had a little bit of weakness here the last couple of weeks. Not something we've been able to say very often in these cattle markets, but the last couple of weeks definitely seen a little bit more selling than what we're used to. But boy, we shrugged that off today. Feeder cattle were almost up the limit, up $8.70 in the October contract, and fats not far behind, up almost $4.50 there. So really strong day there, and this just kind of feeds on what we talked about on Friday when I was on the show here. Is This market was due for a technical correction, and we certainly received that here over the last couple of weeks. But with the lack of headlines out there, the fundamentals have not changed. It's still very tight stocks, and expect for this market to continue to trade back higher and dare I say even go up, maybe reach some new contract highs yet again.
He is Sam Trainor of agmarket.net, my guest here on Monday. Sam, what's the best way for our viewers to get in touch for more marketing information?
Best way would be to visit our website at agmarket.net, or you could give us a phone call at 1-800-779-1515.
Sam, thanks so much for the time here today. Always appreciate it, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Mark. You too.
Thank you to Sam Trainor of agmarket.net for our closing market coverage. Let's take a look at how the markets wrapped up today. We can find that information under the Markets tab of our website at iowaagnet.com.
December corn closes down 6 3/4 at 423 1/4. November soybeans down 3 1/2 at 1042 3/4. October soybean meal down 240 at 285.20. October soybean oil up 9 cents at 51.76. Chicago wheat up 1 1/2 at 525 even. Minneapolis wheat unchanged at 572. Kansas City hard red wheat down 3/4 cent at 514 even. December oats down 1 1/2 at 318 1/4. On the Merc, October live cattle up 463 at 234.60. September feeder cattle up 840 at 358.80. October lean hogs up 40 cents at 97.53. October pork cutout unchanged at 103.10. Class 3 milk down 3 cents at 17.56.
That wraps up our closing market coverage and brings us to the end of today's show. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Facebook and X, as well as subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also listen to our morning, midday, and closing market podcast wherever you find your favorite podcast at Apple, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube, and Podbean. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Mark Magnuson. For Riley Smith, Dustin Huffman, and Andy Peterson, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.